Howdy, and welcome to Brea Jiu-Jitsu. What my goals are with this video is to give you one technique from each of the major positions. I might omit some as I see needed. Now this is going to differ slightly from increasing your general knowledge of each of the positions. This is a very specific technique that I want you to do and that I'm going to have you do in competition from these positions. So let's get started here in the closed guard. Now these techniques, closed guard right here, these techniques are going to be good all the way till black belt except where I tell you. So not everything that I teach you can be sustained at that level for that period of time, and I'll try and let you know. This one is good from white to black. So this position right here is called the closed guard, and that's where he has his legs wrapped around me like this. My goal from the position is to stay safe and open his guard. So just to conceptually what opening his guard is, I could, I guess, just push on his leg and now I've opened his guard. That achieved my goal of opening it. But unfortunately, that's a pretty terrible idea to actually do. We need to do it in a more fundamentally sound way. Now first, about staying safe. I need to get my posture. And the posture is the distance between the two of us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed both of his lapels together and outstretch my arm. This other one is going to be put just on his stomach area. And the goal here is to make it so he can't pull me down, grab my collar and try and pull me down. So you have some nice strong posture. And if he tries to get up, try and get up. You can push him down rather forcefully. You want to keep this position. Your feet, you're going to be sitting down on your feet kind of like this. If you want, you can do it like this. I prefer not to. I prefer to be up on my toes like so. But some people find that uncomfortable and they can curl it inwards. I find that uncomfortable personally. So your knees just a little bit wide, and this is a good posture to stay safe from. Now as soon as I can, I'm going to work to control my opponent's sleeve like this. Now, once I have his sleeve, I'm going to stand up with both legs. I let go of the collars. That's something that a lot of beginners struggle with, letting go of the collars. They want to hang on to them. And I pick up his sleeve quite aggressively. I want to stand all the way vertical. And that can actually be challenging to do. You'll want to be like this. And if he does a sit-up here, you'll be tempted to fall down like that. So in this position, it's going to be hard on him because we came down. But if he does a sit-up, you want to be able to withstand and not move too much. And a lot of the weight is actually offset with my grip. So picking it up is actually going to help you with your balance. Put your hips forward a little bit. Now, you don't even need to push too hard. Just over time, you can kind of push with 40% of your force. Now we push his legs and open it. So when you're in this position, you might be doing something silly, like trying to choke him, trying to do a technique from another position. Don't do any of this. I'm going to yell at you, posture. Posture, you're in the closed guard. Get your posture. That means come to here. Then grab the sleeve and stand. Don't bend your arm when you stand. Go all the way up. Now, keeping a very nice upright posture, I push his leg open. Now the next goal, once we've opened our opponent's guard, is to pass the guard. And what I mean by passing the guard is somehow getting around his legs, most commonly to this position here called the side control. Let's rotate. Side control is the main place that you're going to pass. It's not the only place. You can pass directly to the mount or the north-south, but you're going to go underneath his neck, underneath his armpit, and clasp your hands together. The process of getting around his legs is passing the guard, and there's many types of guard passes. Now, unlike the technique that I just showed you, the stand and open, this one that I'm about to show you is not very good. At least it has a purpose, but it's not very good at the high levels. You won't see it like this. This open guard, as it's called, is going to be where most of jiu-jitsu is going to be won or lost. And it needs more sophistication than what I'm teaching you now. But it will convey the general idea of trying to get around his legs by controlling it. So it will make you effective. As soon as you open the guard, you're going to control both knees on the inside. Now I'm going to back up and bring his legs to the mat, kind of putting my weight on it. Now you can kind of go either way, but For now, I circle on the outside, I fall on him, and then I come to the side control here, and I establish. Of the two moves that I've shown this far, this would be one that you'd be rewarded with 3 points. So, forget about points for a second. The points are representative of good control. So if you're not interested in points, then you can get to a better position where you can control him better. You can start to submit him from the side control or get even better positions like mount or back. So techniques 1 and 2 together. Technique number 1 is going to be good all the way to a black belt. Keep doing it. 1, 2, all the way up. You can have them sit up if you want. You open. Technique 2. This guard pass is called the Toreando guard pass. Pinning. Now let's say you can only grab one. Throw it to the side. Just throw the legs out of the way. That's a really good way of thinking about it. I think this does a good job of teaching that concept of getting the legs out of the way and passing the guard. Okay. Now let's switch. Technique number 3. So you had 1, stand and open, 2, Toreando. Let's do it straight on, more or less like so. Now let's flip the idea. I'm going to be in the bottom closed guard. There's a lot of very good techniques from here. However, what I'm going to tell you to do when you compete is to get a cross grip like this. When I reach across to the other side, this terminology that I use is called a cross grip. My overall goal with this is going to be to remove his grip somehow, just let go, and cross his arm. That's my overall goal. I grab around his back, and then from here, I can sweep him, or I can get up and take his back. Not necessarily with those details, but just so you can see the big picture. What am I going to tell you to do from this position? So, cross grip. You'd be surprised how many people forget about this. Now I need to strip his grip, and I'm going to come underneath and grab my own wrist like this. Now I'm going to go straight up. I'm going to ignore some details that I normally teach, but just keep going up with constant force. Don't go like this. Hold on tight. Don't go like this. Difficulty, relax. Difficulty, relax. Just go straight up, straight up, straight up, straight up. Keep going up until it breaks. Now with a C grip, you're going to push right at his elbow and punch his arm with both of your hands down towards his knee. As I do that, my knees come towards my chest and I pull him towards me. Now I grab around his back. Now, just if you can get here with my audience target for this video, I'll be very happy. Now, there's a lot of nuance to this position and what I just did, some of which I omitted just for the sake of simplicity. But try keeping your grips, keep your cross grip, keep your grip around his back, and kick him over with your legs. Now, you establish the position, which is the mount, and just try and hold the position best you can. So that's going to be your goal. I don't really care about the technical, like, super details. I just want you to know, hey, I'm in the closed guard. Dan wants me to cross the arm over with a cross grip. So again, and then somehow take his back or get the sweep. If you achieve that level of knowledge, I'm happy with a supplemental online video. Strip the grip, punch it down, pull with your legs, keep it towards his knee, grab around his back. You can kind of scoot over a little bit, call that a hip escape, and try and kick him over, and then get on top. You'll learn a lot about this series. You'll see it many times, and we'll kind of bring your level of knowledge on the details up quite a bit. So, now on the bottom open guard end, I need to completely skip that in this video. It's a very complicated position, the open guard, with many subtypes. For example, De La Riva, spider guard, butterfly guard, there's a lot there. And that's where I look forward to teaching you knowledge about those positions and how to pass them. It's not like the top. The top's a little bit easier to give you like a quick start technique, like that Toreando pass. But learning any form of open guard is very tricky with just one technique. So we'll leave that to later. Now, let's get mounted. You'll be spending a lot of time here, unfortunately. This is in my view, the second worst. Just bring this arm up just for a second. The second worst position in jiu-jitsu. The only worst one of the major positions is the back. And if you're going to learn one defensive technique, this is the one I want you to learn. This is so incredibly useful. And this one, unlike the guard pass, but like the stand and open and the arm drag from the bottom close guard, this can be used at all levels. If I'm mounted, this is the way that I'm going to escape. My partner might try and squash it at various times, and I might need to overcome those things to still do this move, but I'm still doing this move. I need to achieve four things, four small things to be able to escape this position. Number one, I need to flatten my leg, not necessarily in this order. And I'm going to flatten my leg against the mat, not over his leg. Number two, as I need to get on my side. That will probably happen at the same time as flattening your leg. You might actually flatten the leg after you get on your side. Number three is my elbow wants to come on the inside part of his leg. This makes it hard for his knee to come up under my armpit. Come up under my armpit with this knee, Johnny. Like this. This is very bad. It'll be harder to escape. And number four is my forearm needs to go across his waist with my elbow still peeking out on that side. Don't cross your arm over when you get on your side. This is a recipe for more misery. We're about alleviating misery. Now that I'm in this position, I have a decent shot at being able to escape. The magic is getting to this spot. Now I take my leg, the one that isn't flat, the far leg, and I go over and I scoop up his leg with my heel. Bring it in between my legs and pinch them together, like Thigh Master style. Now I take this hand, and you can also use your elbow, but it's nice to use your hand too, and push it in between my legs. As I'm doing that, this foot goes on the ground like this, so I can push my hips towards the camera in what's called a hip escape, and I push them away with my hands in the upper body. Now I do a chest escape, kind of opening like a door, going all the way, and I remove my foot and go back to the closed guard. If that seems like a lot of steps, that's because it is. Each one of these moves, you're not going to learn, even though I'm presenting them all together, you're not going to learn and practice them and be expected to learn them all together. Each one can be like something that you practice for that day in class or open mat or whatever it is. So, again, I'm mounted. Oh no. Flatten my leg. Get on my side. Elbow on the inside. Forearm across his waist. Take this over. Scoop it up. Pinch your knees. Push it in between your legs. Watch how I use my left foot. Left foot plants. Push them away and hip escape. Chest escape. And keep scooting over. Keep going with the chest escape so you can free this foot and make a nice angle to do so. Now I'm in the closed guard. Pop quiz. What do you do from the closed guard? Cross grip, Dan. Very good job. You make a cross grip, strip the grip, cross the arm, and then you'd work for the back or doing the sweep that I taught. See how they link together. Now this is a good technique. Like outside of the open guard, I like to teach the closed guard, arm drag that I showed. I like to teach this second because it actually gives you a plan from a number of different situations. And it filters it back into the closed guard. This brings me to my next point. Half guard. You already learned what to do from half guard. Half guard, we actually did in the last technique. There was a half guard component of it. Half guard is where both of my legs are controlling in some manner his one leg. He's going to try and put my back on the mat and squish me like this. So you need to be on your side, making distance. And all we're going to do from here is what we did before. Plant your foot, hip escape, chest escape, and recover. Keep them away from you. That was the tail end of the mount escape. And I find that being able to do that mount escape is quite critical in developing escaping back to the open or closed guard from the half guard. So you already know what to do from there. Push them away and hip escape. Now, Johnny's going to show this one because I actually like talking. Give me your back and sitting towards the camera. Johnny's the good guy now. Johnny's in the worst position in jiu-jitsu, which is the back. Let's talk about the back because I'm going to show one thing from my perspective and one thing from his to kind of round this out a little bit. I'm going to have my feet on his inner thighs like this. These are called hooks. Here I have one hook in. Here I have two hooks in. This is the only configuration of your legs that you should use for points. Crossing your feet won't result in points. Having them off to the side won't result in points. You need to have them right here, and points are representative of control. Now there's a point of contention whether other forms of control might be better, but that's what will award you points, and for the most part, points are control. So, my upper body is generally going to be making a seatbelt grip, which is one over the top and one underneath, and hugging him tight. The idea here is that while this hand can work for chokes, I can hug him and keep his back against my chest. If I start to lose that chest with back connection, I'm going to start to lose the position. Now, actually, I would like to reverse the order. I'm going to show you what to do from my perspective first. What you want to do is you want to work for a grip on his neck with your arm that's over. If I can grab his collar, you've achieved most of the battle in finishing a choke from the back. It's much easier to grab the collar than it is to go all the way across for a rear naked choke. So in the gi, you're pretty much mostly going to be working for collar chokes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open his lapel up. I'm going to feed it to the hand, nice and tight. I kind of pull out the slack to my attacking hand, and it gets a grip. I'm going to loosen it just a hair, just so he's comfortable. Now this hand is going to release and grab his knee. My hooks now can pivot to the side. Watch this. I'm going to put them over to the side like this, and I guide him in between my legs, and I make sure that this leg isn't going to get squashed by his body weight. This one right here. I'm going to kick it out nice and wide, lock over his shoulder, lean back, and pull against his neck. This is called the bow and arrow choke because you end like you're shooting a bow and arrow. Now this one is not exactly how you're going to do it when you get a little bit better. All the key components are there. But let me show you really quick how you will do it. You probably will be on your side, not sitting up. You'll probably make the grip here. You'll grab and your leg will be stuck. So you'll probably need to free it under his body, get up, and then reset. That's a little bit better. But even so, I like to teach this one first. We can build upon this first. This upright position, which isn't that common actually. So, open, grab, knee, pivot your hooks to the side. Open this leg super high and guide him in between your legs. Lock his shoulder. Go back and squeeze. Now, that just realized that I haven't talked about submissions. The goal of jiu-jitsu is submission. And if you get a submission in a competition, the match is immediately over regardless of the points. In the absence of a submission, then the points are the determining factor. And when you're caught in a submission, you tap on your partner, don't tap on yourself, and try and make it a couple of taps because grabbing is very common when you're applying a submission. He's trying to grab something to pull it off. You might misinterpret that. So a couple of taps on your opponent, and just make sure you release when you're doing the submission yourself. So a common mistake from here is people kind of pull the guy on top of him, on top of you, and then I can't lock his shoulder properly even though there's still good stuff I can do. You're in the back, there's always good stuff you can do. But you want to keep him down here. This is nice to be able to finish. That's the most common mistake from here. Second most common is when I go for it, this slips over the top of his head and he gets out. He might even try and bring it over the top of his head, reach back. He might try and bring it over the top. So I need to kind of close my elbow nice and tight downwards like this. and then I pull. Now, let's flip the situation, even though we're not going to switch. Now you're the good guy here. How you escape. So first, you need to keep yourself safe. So you're going to keep your chin down, make it harder to get choked, and your arms, you probably going to be close to your neck and grabbing the hand with both of them, let's say, the hand that's close to your neck, not the one that's under. Because this, if it can make a grip, you're tapping, probably. So you can't let him make a grip. So hands real tight, everything nice and compact, making it difficult. Now, for a second, just release. Now, what you want to do is fall to the side that his attacking arm is pointing. Right now, I'm pointing to this side. That's the way that he would like to fall. So he's going to control my arm, and he's going to go on that side. Now what he's going to do is he's going to start to get his back on the mat. So what he needs to do first is look at me as much as possible. You're going to take the back of your head, put it on the mat, and look over towards me. This will help start to make that angle. Now he's going to slither his back on the mat as much as he can. And once he gets his back on the mat, he's going to raise his arm and then try and spin on top as quick as possible. And escape. So what I'm going to yell to you when you're competing or rolling is I'm going to say, get your back on the mat. I'm not going to say defend your neck. That's kind of the obvious part. Like, everybody knows to defend their neck. If somebody's going for a submission, you're going to try and defend it. But to actually escape the thing, go ahead and defend. You're going to go to the side that the attacking arm is pointed. Put the back of your head on the mat. Look towards me as much as possible. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. And now once your back hits the mat and my chest is no longer on it, raise your hand and spin on top really quick. Try not to turn. You spin. And then you end in the close guard. Then you're going to get your posture, just like we did the first technique. You're going to grab the sleeve. You're going to stand up. You're going to open the guard. Then do the Toriando pass, etc., etc. So, there's one more thing I'd like to add about the escape. It's not terribly important for right now, but whatever. I thought of it, so I'll teach it to you. Is that when you're controlling this hand, you actually want to pinch your armpit over here against my arm so it's hard to pull out like this. Because you'd be loose. Maybe you're holding this arm and he takes it out and starts to choke you with this one. So you want to kind of keep it in place. And then you can do the escape. Now another note. When you're here, here's how it really goes when the guy's good. Look towards me. He starts to wiggle. Keep looking towards me. Once he realizes that he's done, he's going to probably try and get on the mount. And when he gets on the mount, that's when you do the previous escape. The exact same one. You push it in between, you hip escape, and then return to the close guard. And then you're trying to cross my arm again. I feel that now we have enough techniques to where they're kind of linking together one to the next. Let me fill in some minor gaps in our basic position knowledge. So that back escape is more or less exactly how you're going to do it when you're really good and your opponent's really good. The only difference is spinning on top can be very difficult in the gi, and you might need to get him to try and come up on the mount and then escape the mount, if you follow that logic. If you're brand new and you're just watching this straight through, start to finish, I feel that your cup will be definitely overflowing now as far as what you can absorb. But that's okay. Just seeing it kind of helps. Now, we do have a gap. I didn't tell you what to do from the side control position. So go on the bottom. Now, this is terrible. This is not good technique. So this is just for conceptual purposes, much like that Toriando pass. From the side control, chill him out. Just hold him here. I don't use this strategy with my hands, but it's good for you in the beginning. Just take your knee and slide it over to the mount. And try not to let him scoop it up. Scoop it up. Try not to let him scoop it up as you do. Even though this technique stinks, I didn't really go into detail. It's just showing you the hierarchy of positions. I went from side control and I went to mount. I don't find that transition to be incredibly important to focus on in the beginning. Now, from the mount, I'm not going to teach you anything because I got you the mount. Be happy. Be happy that you're here. And see how long that you can hold the position, either going under his neck or using your hands. And if you get rolled, which is going to be common, guess where you're going. Close guard, you get your cross grip. You cross the arm, hip escape, start to work to sweep in. Okay? So just learning to hold the mount is very valuable. And it's okay. If I'm getting my students to mount and then they're losing the mount, I'm doing something right. Don't worry, I'll fill in the gaps too. But even like Johnny, we were talking the other day, Johnny's been very successful in competitions. He's like, I keep getting rolled from the mount. But I said, Johnny, you're winning matches like 24-0. It's much better to be winning matches 24-0 and not getting a submission than never getting to the mount and just losing. So, the submission is actually probably the last thing, in my view, that you should learn. It should be all the stuff that gets you there. And I'll give you some plans, don't get me wrong. But the emphasis will be probably on getting to that position. Now, there's one more major position that I didn't address as we filled in that gap, and that's from stand-up. Now, every jiu-jitsu match, here anyway, starts from standing. We spar, every match starts from standing. Just so you know, that this is not the standard of practice in the jiu-jitsu world. Most of the competitive gyms start from standing, but a lot, unfortunately, start from the knees, in my view. So, we all start from standing, and how every match starts is a slap and a bump. That's true any country, any language. Now, what you need to select is you need to select a lead leg and a trail leg. And in this case, I'll be a right leg lead. My left leg will be trail leg. See how you're learning terminology? Very nice. Now, you want to be kind of low with your butt backwards, your arms in like you're playing the piano or something, and your hands about here. The idea is we don't want him to get any control of our hips. So just having a good stance is a good idea. And there's lots of techniques that you can do from here. A very good first technique is a double leg or a single leg. But that's not what I'm going to show you. Like I said in the beginning, this is what I want you to do in competition, not necessarily like making you a well-rounded grappler. So however you do it, I'm going to let you fill in that little gap, is I want you to grab with your lead leg hand his cross collar. Same as the cross grip on the sleeve that we did from the close guard. Cross collar, nice and high. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to go like circle, like in a clockwise, 2 times. Watch this. Follow me, Johnny. 1, 2. You see, we're just going in a circle. We're dancing. After the first or after the second, you're going to take your foot and plant it just a little bit out to Johnny's right leg here. Let's actually rotate now. Let's rotate right here. Now what I'm going to do is I turn my body so my shoulders are facing this way, and I stick out my leg until I fall down on my butt. I stick it out like this. Now go ahead and posture up a little bit. Now as you're doing that, you're going to pull as hard as you can like this, getting his hands to be right here. Now I have really great access to his leg. I hug the leg, I get up on my knees, and then I bulldozer him over with the momentum. So, start in your stance. Oh no, a little gap in your knowledge. Just go, get the grip, okay? You're a single-minded automaton. You're just getting the cross grip. Go to the side, 1, 2, plant, stick out your leg, yank him as hard as you can. Hey, look, his leg, grab it. Pivot your legs and get on top. I like this one because A, it works well against good guys, so it does have that potential. And B, if we fail on it, if I'm here and he just stays up, I just did something called pulling guard. I intentionally went to the bottom, well, kind of intentionally, but he didn't do a takedown on me. And there's no harm, no foul. You're in the guard, then you can continue to work your guard. So it's a lower risk move. Something like a double leg where you come in and you're here, he sprawls, and you die. That's what happens from here, you die. He takes you back, he chokes you, etc. It's a very good technique. There's nothing wrong with it. But it can be miserable too. This removes the misery, which is why I like it. And it's like a good carpenter, right? I'm not a carpenter. But I watch somebody that's good with tools, And I see they just go, they have their 500 tools, they pick up the one, and then they do one little thing, and they're like, yep, that's $500. And honestly, a lot of what they do is simple, but they just choose the right tool for the right job. And I feel that this is a very good tool. It's a very simple tool, it's nothing special, but selecting this higher on your priority for takedowns is something that's actually pretty good. Alright, so last time we slap and we bump. You're kind of moving in your stance. Little gap in your knowledge, that's okay. Making contact is important. You'll learn more about that. Now we start to circle. 1, 2. Maybe you can do it after 1. Plant, go down, pull, and get up. You saw it was a little faster there, which it needs to be faster. Here, let me do it after 1 step. 1 step, plant, go. And then, connecting together, Toreando pass. I get the side control. Let's face the camera and scoot over a little bit. I get the side control. I chill them out. Slide this over. I hold the mount. Oh no, I lose the mount because I stink at mount. You're in the close guard. Cross grip. Cross his arm. Oh no, I'm a white belt and I messed it up and he got out. My opponent's gonna stand and open. Stand and open. Ah, I'm a white belt, I don't know what to do here. And he's probably gonna pass your guard. He does the Toreando pass. Oh no, he gets the side control. Ah, I'm a white belt, so I just turn away and he takes my back. Take my back any old way. Oh no, he's gonna get the bow and arrow. He gets the grip on my neck. He gets the grip on my knee. He pivots his hooks. He kicks his leg out wide, goes over my shoulder, and he pulls until I tap. Oh yay, I get a chance to escape. He didn't tap me. I'm right here. I control his arm. I pinch this one, keeping my neck inaccessible. Turn and look at him. Start to shrivel. He comes up on the mount. Come up on the mount. Oh no, but oh yes, because this is actually easier to escape. Push it back in here. Now I'm in the half guard. I continue to push. Hip escape, chest escape. Now I'm in the close guard. Now I do this. And then I do that. Now I'm actually successful with it. Hey, you have a rough outline of jiu-jitsu. And a lot of those moves will work at the high level. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And when they wouldn't work at the high level, I tried to give you an introduction as to why I was doing it. Like, for example, Toreando, controlling the legs is the idea I was trying to get across. And when they would work, I tried to make a note as well. So anyways, if you have any questions on these moves, just ask me in class, because I'm going to be telling you to do these moves. Believe it. Anyways, see you in class.